Good morning, everyone. It's Mish here. I always say good morning because usually I'm doing these videos in the morning. But good day, whatever time of day it is that you are watching the video. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thanks a lot for popping in, and I hope you come back. And for those of you who have been following me, thank you so much. I noticed the other day that I've reached over 500 subscribers, so that just makes me really happy. So today we're going to be working in the Daphne's Diary Gluebook journal, and if you are new, it's just a journal that we created from scratch and have been doing different projects. If you haven't seen them, then I have created a playlist called Daphne's Diary Gluebook Journal, so they're all there. And if you have been following along, then you already know the things that we've created. So today I've already put my background paper on. I did look through the pages that are in the Daphne's Diary, but there just didn't seem anything to suit the layout that I want to do today. So I just found this in my paper pads. I do have a plastic tote that I got at Michael's. I forget how big it is, but it fits the 12 by 12 paper. And if I'm going through a pad and I think, oh, that might look good in my glue book, I just take it out and put it in the plastic tote. And then when I'm doing a project, I go through and have a look. So the latest magazine that I have is number 6. So far I have 2023, I have issues 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have 4 issues, and I do sometimes go back to the first one, as you know, and I don't always just stick with the current one because I think that there's so many projects that you can do that I don't, I just go back and forth. But last night I got this one out and really had a good look at it, and there were some things that really jumped out at me. So the first thing, which I've already cut out, was this tree, and it was right about here. And I thought, oh, I love that tree. So I cut that out. And then when I was flipping through, I noticed this little basket of apples. It was on the next page. And I thought, oh, well, that kind of goes with what I want to do. So I cut those out, and with the basket, I did put it on some firmer cardstock, just because I wanted to pop out a bit. So then I kind of thought, well, what else can go under my tree? So I looked through all the magazines, and I kept remembering that there was a sticker that was in issue, well, I didn't know which issue, so I went back to find it, and it was in issue 3, and it was those little deer, and I was fortunate enough to have 2 issue 3s, so I took the deer and I again put them on some firmer, just some scrap paper that I had. So my idea is to make a collage just with these images. So I fussy cut that out, and I'm thinking today's going to be quite a simple one, but sometimes simple's nice, and I'm thinking about when I go back and look through my journal later, some of the things that are going to make me happy. And this tree, because I definitely have a thing for trees, I always have, and I thought this tree would make me happy. So I'm just using some Elmer's glue. I'm not putting a lot on. This is just thin glossy paper. So if I put a lot of glue that's water-based like Elmer's glue, then it's going to warp the page. So, but because it is paper on paper, the Elmer's glue will work fine. So I want to make sure I get this to where I'm going to have it a little bit off center, so that my deer can relax and feel safe. I think that's probably good. So let's say about there. We'll make it work. Okay. So we've got our tree down. And then with the basket, I thought I would prop that up on some foam tapes, just some dimensional. And then it would kind of stick out a bit and give the paper a little bit of, the page a little bit of dimension. Don't have to if you like all your stuff like a typical collage, just all mat it down. So I'm kind of thinking to put that about there. And then with our little deer can sit kind of there, I guess. Like that. That would be cute. I'm not going to put the deer up on dimensionals because because when I backed it on this cardstock, it does raise it up a little bit. The reason I didn't leave it as a sticker is because when I would stick it down, I was concerned I might see the little line where I cut this out, like when it laid flat, there'd be a line. And as well as I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to put it. So with a sticker, you have to commit more. And then thirdly, I didn't leave the backing on and just glue it down because I was afraid later that the sticker would start to peel off the backing. So I just stuck it down on the cardstock. And I'm kind of thinking, it doesn't really matter. It is a collage, so it doesn't matter if everything, but I want to get them so that they're kind of sitting flat on the ground and not kind of anchored up in the air. I think that's probably the ground there. So I want them more under the tree. But I want to see some apples. There. I think I'm happy there. So we'll get that down. I did use the Elmer's glue again. And with this one, it's not too much of an issue because I did back it onto cardstock. And cardstock is a little bit firmer and doesn't tend to warp as much as the glossy paper would. So then for my basket, I'm going to just put that in the foreground just to kind of symbolize that we've been out picking apples. So then I also found, because I needed something up here in the tree, and I thought about a butterfly, and I might do a butterfly later, but I found this little bee, and I thought I would use him because it has been a little bit of an issue this summer here in Halifax, anyway, or at least in my garden, that my hydrangeas, which normally have these huge blooms about the size of a volleyball, it didn't bloom this summer. And I was thinking, well, what is going on? And then I saw an article, I think it might have been on TV or maybe an article I read or something, that was saying the reason that a lot of our flowers and stuff didn't bloom this year was because it was such a wet summer. We've had the wettest summer on record, I think, and the bees didn't get out and around. And it's so true. Like, without these little critters, we wouldn't have apples. And I mean, the wind does pollinate some stuff, but you know, these little bees are crucial for our existence. So I thought, how appropriate to honor the little bee. So I found this little bee on one of the pages in the magazine, and I had cut this out before. Again, if you watch my channel, you know that I have a whole drawer full of images that I've already cut out from different projects, and I keep them in these little DVD pouches, and then when I do a collage, I kind of look to that to see if there's something there that I can use. So, propping him up on dimensionals too, so that he'll stand out. And I'm thinking, where am I going to put him? I think I want him angled down, and I want him kind of maybe that it's going to draw your eye kind of up and around, so kind of in a triangle. So I think right here is probably a good spot, and I don't want him right to the top. So, because then he seems like he's not part of the collage, at least in my mind. So I think here is good. So I put him on dimensionals too, so he'll kind of stand up. And then I always like to add some bling or something. And I was thinking, well, I've got some Nuvo drops, so I could put like little red Nuvo drops to kind of be apples that are standing out, but in my mind I didn't really like that idea. And the same is down here. I could put some glossy accents and make those apples stand out. And you know what? I think maybe, let me see here. Excuse me if my head gets in the way. Let me see. So I do have some shimmering crystal effects. And I'm just wondering, you know what? Sometimes if you don't do something, then you never know. And if you don't like it, then at least you've tried. So I think I will put some glossy accents. But before, I'm going to do that last, so that then I can take it away and have time to dry, and I'm not going to be accidentally rubbing my hand through it like so. So I just keep little glossy accents, little bits and bobs here, in case I decide I'm going to need it. But and you know what? What I was going to do, I suppose I can still do it, is I love Wink of Stella. I don't like it in all my projects, but I mean, I sometimes get to a point that I'm totally obsessed with Wink of Stella. And my idea was to put that on his wings. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up there, so that they really shimmer. And when I'm sitting here and moving my head, they're really shimmery. So that was kind of my idea. And then just now I thought about the glossy accents. So the glossy accents would work good on the wings too. And then you could put the glossy accents on now, and the shimmer would come through the glossy accent. Or this one here, which is from Stampin' Up, I don't even know if they still sell it, is a shimmery crystal effect. So it has a bit of shimmer in it already, which is what I'm going to use kind of on the apples, and then we'll see how that pans out. So I've got that. Oh yeah, and I wanted to put a saying, because when I was thinking about today's collage, I was thinking, you know, this is kind of simple, but sometimes simple, there's real beauty in simplicity. And maybe I've used this already in my I don't think I have though, because I don't think I've used it. So this is from my Tim Holtz Small Talk, I think it is. Yeah. And I think this also grounds this guy, like her paw, her hoof. Just want to try to get that straight. Sometimes my eyeballs aren't straight. I think that's kind of straight. Does that look straight? Yeah, I think that's straight. Because there is beauty in simplicity. I like that. Okay, so I think we're kind of done, but let's try this glossy accents and see the shimmery crystal effect. Okay, so it's coming out, and when it's wet, I don't know if you can see that, but let's just do a couple apples just in case. So we'll do the red ones kind of stand out, so I don't really think we need to do them ones. But let's try to do this one. And then what's going to happen is we'll go away, and I'm just going to use my, if I can find it, my pokey tool to, I never find my pokey tool when I need it, because it falls, it's so small, it falls down in my little thing. Well, I'll just use this, I guess. Can't find my pokey tool. But I'm just going to use this to spread around a little bit so that it's... And it doesn't matter for this project if it's completely smooth on top. because apples aren't that smooth, and if it's not completely smooth, it will give it some texture. So I don't know if you can see that at this point there. When you kind of turn it on the side, you can see how it's kind of shiny. And when that dries clear, it'll be a subtle effect that will catch the viewer's eye. And it's subtle enough that it doesn't really take away. So if I do those two, maybe those two, maybe that one there. Let's do this one here too. And then, but then you have to set this aside. I set it aside for quite a few hours so that it doesn't, so that it dries hard and clear. You know what? I do like that. I don't know if you can see that. So now I'm thinking maybe do a couple in the tree, because it's going to turn it upside down, but because it's subtle enough that I think it will dry. And if we just do some random ones, it'll pull the eye around the treetop. Because already I can see that. I don't know if I turn it on an angle. Like there. You can see those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those 8 really popping out when I turn it kind of on the side. At least it looks like there. But I need to put one down here. And maybe one there in that cluster. So we've got maybe one right here. Okay. And I think that's good. I mean, we could put a crystal in her little bow, in her little flower there. She's got some flowers in her hair that might stand that out. We could do the crystal accents, but I don't think that I think that the apples keep a continuity, and if we did it there, I don't think it would stand out. The other thing that we could do, so when I cut out my images and I backed them, I didn't do it to the tree, but I took my Pitt pens, and then for the basket, I just went around the edges very carefully so that basket would stand out more. But for the deer, I didn't want, I don't know if you can see on camera, but I didn't want the harsh black line that the black one did. So I went around in brown. And it does have a subtle effect. If you don't do it, then the image stands out a little bit more. And I kind of wanted it to blend into the collage and not kind of be separate. It's different when you add some dimension to something, because that's obvious that you're adding dimension to your collage. But for all your different images, you want it all to blend kind of as one thing. At least in my mind. I'm not an expert. So don't quote me on that, but that's just kind of how I feel. But I think we're done for this one. At the end of each video, I put it back into the book. But I'm not going to do that today, obviously, because I don't want this to all smear all over the place. And so I'll either add in an edit. Okay, everyone, here's the edit. It has dried, and I think it looks really lovely. I did put some of the crystal effects on the little bee's wings as well, so that kind of stands out. And I feel you can feel the little bits of the apples, and it really does have a great shine. The other thing I did, because I did want to do a little bit of something with her, is I put a little bit of stickles there, some red stickles. I don't know if you can actually see that, but it's kind of glittery there. So yeah, so that's the page for today. But before I go, I just wanted to just give an FYI that on November the 1st, on my card Week Until Christmas video, I will be announcing a giveaway. So if you'd like to get in on that, then just have a look at that video, and there'll be more details in that on November 1st. So if you like this, then give me a like, and If you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great week. Bye for now.